So I was thinking about the technological differences and evolution that cryptocurrency has seen in the past years. And I remember in 2014, 2015 being on my laptop, researching about Bitcoin and learning about what it was. And I remember thinking, hey man, this is like torrents, but it's also like money. I like torrents and I like money. So I was very excited. I was learning. Back in that day, I didn't have enough money to buy any, and I remember saying, this is definitely gonna double at least. And I was in college. During that time, I was selling cell phone accessories in college in order to have money for my daily expenses. And time passed by and I missed that huge opportunity to buy one of the biggest assets and biggest pieces of historical and technological advances that we've ever seen. I was also there when Ethereum came out, and I missed Ethereum. I thought I dismissed it. I thought it was just some other altcoin, and I was like, hey, this might grow, but who cares? I like Bitcoin, right? And I remember those days, and today I'm thinking about the internet computer. Thinking back in the development of Bitcoin, the development of Ethereum, I was also there in the early days of Solana. I did get some Solana. I think I sold too early on that one. But with the internet computer, it's different. It feels just like Solana. It feels just like Bitcoin in the beginning. And that's why I'm making this video, to compare the technology behind the internet computer and why it's revolutionary and why it's something big and something different and not just any other altcoin. The internet computer is changing cryptocurrency and cryptos because it's not just an asset class. It's not just a ledger with your name on it or with your address on it. It's not just a smart contract chain to have decentralized contracts. It's more than that. It's a way to tokenize the entire internet economy and digital assets, things like music, blogs, social media. Everything that we've been using with ad revenue with large owners like Amazon Web Services, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and other large centralized corporations. Now we're looking at the year 2020. I'm in a crypto trading group and I'm talking with my friends about what coin we're going to invest in next. When somebody says, hey, there's a new coin, it's called ICP. I'm going to buy some because it's new. I also went in, I bought it at around $300. I said, I'm going to wait until it drops a little bit. It dropped to $300. And I bought some. I had no idea what it was at the time. I didn't know the technology. I simply bought it because it was new and because my experienced trader friend was buying some because it was new. Now, fast forward a couple months, I see that it goes down. I start dollar cost averaging and I begin to study the technology. Once I started researching, I realized that the internet computer was a completely new way to run the internet. Not only was it an evolution of Bitcoin in the form of transactions, an evolution of Ethereum in the form of smart contracts, and an evolution of Solana in the form of greater speed and scalability, but it was going to completely change the way the internet works. See, the internet computer is not just a layer 1 blockchain to approve transactions or have a decentralized layer. It's not only a chain for smart contracts to create tokens, and it's not only very fast but infinitely scalable. The internet computer is going to completely change the way corporations work and organize themselves. It is the beginning of the new DAO wave of technological advances. You see, for years, corporations have been forming under corporations that have to register under states, following state taxes, federal laws, and regulations. But with the invention of the decentralized internet, corporations can now form anonymously. They can form with different countries with no barriers blocking them, and they can work remotely. A great example of this is how Dfinity community is ran by people who are probably in 4 or 5 different countries. For our first comparison, we're going to compare it to Bitcoin. Now, number one, I am not anti-Bitcoin. I am a very firm Bitcoin believer. I hold Bitcoin and I've been holding Bitcoin for a while. Sometimes I sell it and sometimes I trade it. Nonetheless, I am a big fan of Bitcoin. With that being said, Bitcoin has a couple of problems. Number one, scalability, and number two, transactions. Although Bitcoin has been an excellent store of value and people store their value in massive quantities and exchange money throughout the world in massive quantities without the need for banks, the transactions per second for the Bitcoin network are very slow. We see transactions at 4.6 transactions per second. That means that every second there can only be about 4 transactions or so. How do we fix this? There have been new inventions. For example, Litecoin came in the early days, then Dogecoins. We have things like Solana and the Solana network. However, none of these networks have been infinitely scalable. The internet computer solves this. Not only is it a faster more scalable network than Bitcoin, but with Bitcoin integration, it's going to integrate Bitcoin into the internet computer to take an existing platform and make it better. Currently, like I said, Bitcoin runs at 4.6 transactions per second. Visa runs an average of 1,700 transactions per second. It is said that their network can support 65 transactions per second if it had. In order for Bitcoin to compete not only as a store of value but as a transactional asset in the world, it needs to reach speeds of at least 1,700 transactions per second. Currently, this can only be done through third-party applications, for example the Binance wallet or the Coinbase wallet, but the user has to depend on a third party. And as we know, third parties require things like know your client identifications, submitting to local governments, etc. How do we keep these transactions decentralized while maintaining the Bitcoin ecosystem? This is done through chain key cryptography. The internet computer is integrating Bitcoin into itself in order to run transactions that have been tested at over 280,000 transactions per second. Dominic Williams, the founder and CEO of Dfinity, has announced on Twitter that 1 million transactions per second will be possible by the end of 2022. Already, the internet computer is much faster than Bitcoin. Like I said, I'm a Bitcoin fan and I believe it's a good store of value. However, this internet computer technology is the new generation that is going to speed it up and make it actually work for the masses. Ethereum is currently the hub for altcoins and NFTs. However, one of the biggest problems with this is the huge amount of gas fees. For example, purchasing an NFT can run you gas fees of up to $200. Ethereum users brag about paying only $20 or $40 in gas fees whenever the network isn't congested. Another problem with the Ethereum network is many of its front-end web pages are running on Amazon Web Services. This means that a centralized organization can shut down many of these applications. 70% of all Ethereum nodes are hosted on Amazon Web Services. Not only can the front end of Ethereum be turned off, the whole chain can be turned off. This is completely against the philosophy of blockchains and cryptocurrency. A blockchain should be decentralized and not controlled by a private American corporation. The internet computer fixes this by running on decentralized nodes all around the world, not in one specific country, and all of them with different owners. Now, let's talk about Solana. To begin with, I am a big fan of Solana. I was a big fan ever since the coin was about 68 cents, and I did buy some as an early adopter. As a matter of fact, I think I sold too early. Solana is probably one of the fastest networks and it has an incredible smart contract system. However, Solana compared to the internet computer in transactions alone is about 10 times slower. The internet computer has been tested for over 200,000 transactions per second, with 1 million transactions per second being estimated to be available around the year 2022. Not only this, but the internet computer is not limited to only smart contracts, coins, and NFTs, but it can run the web as a whole at a scalable and realistic level. Another problem with Solana is the storage of information. The Solana network currently creates about 2 terabytes of information, which it has to store using Arweave. By doing this, it's depending on third-party blockchains instead of depending on itself. Albeit this is decentralized, it's a problem since you are depending on another network once again. The internet computer solves this by having very cheap available storage so everything can be kept in-house. Not only to have independence from centralized organizations like Amazon Web Services, but to have independence from other blockchains. The Solana network has also been so crowded at times that it is not able to function for hours. One of the times it was about 17 hours of downtime. This caused many users to lose money or to not be able to trade when it was important for them to do so. The internet computer again solves this by being extremely scalable. Not only is it currently extremely fast and able to run at web speeds and run websites at web speeds and even games, but it is scalable to grow even further as the community begins to adopt it. Again, I'm a big fan of Solana, but the internet computer is definitely the next big thing. In conclusion, I missed the Ethereum train, I sold too early in the Solana train, and I adopted Bitcoin on and off. With the internet computer, I see it as one of these top coins, and this is not financial advice. I believe all users should view it as if it was another Bitcoin Bitcoin, another Solana, or another Ethereum, something completely big and completely revolutionary in blockchain technology. The internet computer is going to completely change the way the internet works by tokenizing every single digital asset we've ever imagined and creating a whole new digital economy for future generations. Anyway guys, if you like our content, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter at ICP Squad, and sign up to our newsletter at DfinityCommunity.com.